السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولله على الناس حج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا ومن كفر فإن الله غني عن العالمين. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: من حج فلم يرفث ولم يفسق رجع كيوم ولدته أمه، أو كما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Today, inshallah, we'll be talking about one of the most important journeys in our lives to fulfill one of the fara'id of Islam, which is Hajj. As Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam have said, Buni al-Islamu ala khamsin. Islam is founded on 5 pillars: Shahada, Salah, Zakah, fasting of the month of Ramadan, and Hajj. So Hajj is one of the pillars of Islam. And since this ibadah is normally performed only once in a lifetime or occasionally, therefore a lot of time people don't know the method of doing it, and especially for us it's done away from home. So there are a lot of things that we need to know about this journey to make sure that we don't have to go through hardships of traveling over there, and we can concentrate on our ibadah. Of course, as we know that if we talk about Salah, there are so many things that we need to cover in related to Salah that of course will need a long time, and Hajj is a complete journey, so it needs much more time to cover everything about it. Here I would be just mentioning some important points about Hajj and the method of performing Hajj that would inshallah be enough to make the journey as simple as possible, as comfortable as possible, and we would be able to take benefit and advantage of this ibadah and understand that our journey mainly is for a ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is not like a normal journey where I'm going to enjoy, so I'm looking for this and that, and I'm looking for the highest level of service. Mainly is the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the things that we really notice over there, that a lot of time people that go from this part of the world, they really lose their ibadah. I see this a lot. People that go from this part of the world, you see them losing the ibadah totally. And the reason is that one of the most expensive packages of Hajj that you can find maybe from this part of the world, with the least time and the highest amount of money that you will spend. So now when a person who have spent 8,000, 9,000, and some packages 12,000, 13,000. So of course the person expects service according to the money he has spent. Now when he goes over there and he sees that he's being treated like anyone else in that area, and he asks the person sitting next to him, how much did you guys get your package for? I got it for 3,000, but I spent 11,000, and we are sitting on the same seat. In fact, he may be sitting on the seat and you are standing up. Right there you start boiling. That they spend not even 1/3 of what I spend, and here they are getting better service than I do, and on top of that, you know what will happen? That person will tell you all the good things about Hajj. And you are thinking about all the bad things of it, because you spend too much money. So you're thinking that I didn't get the best hotel. I was expecting to get a better hotel service, but I never got that. And I was expecting that the person that sold us this package be with us, and whenever I need him, he is there to serve me. And I never seen that person until now, and I don't expect to see him until I get back home. And this happens a lot. Amazing things happen during this journey. Remember, people who are selling these packages, this is their business. Me and you, we take it as, we are going to Baytullah. We are going to Hajj. This is Farida. And that person, it's a business for him. Reality is a reality. They're making their living through this business. So they're not doing a favor to people. They are not doing sadaqat or anything like this. You are dealing as a business with those people. Now, when you go over there, you would have to decide, should I run after the money that I spend and try to get what he promised me, or should I just concentrate on my ibadah and forget of what I have spent? If you try to run after your money, the money is gone and the ibadah is gone too. This is a fact. So therefore, whatever money you have spent it already. At least get the ibadah and come back successfully with getting the ibadah done properly. Another thing that we find in these expensive packages, that they try to, because the package is expensive, so they try to make things very simple and easy for people who have joined the package. In that situation, sometimes even the haram becomes halal. Things that are not allowed, you will get the fatwa of it being allowed. Why? Because if I tell him no, then he would be upset. And he paid me $10,000 for the package. Can I tell him no now? So therefore, really, the reason I'm mentioning it, because anyone who would hear these talks, they have to understand when you're asking masail and rulings of Sharia to the person, you should know who you're asking and understand that what would be his answer in relation to your connection with him, that if you spend and he's the one who's selling you the package or anything like this, then maybe ask someone else in some other group. Unfortunately, many times, people are paid, scholars, imams, are paid to join the group. So that imam or scholar has also be considerate of how he is going to be issuing the fatwa, because this is his last trip with this group, and next time he has to find another group, or he wants to keep the group happy also, so he has to say things according to the need of the time. And this happens a lot too. Amazing things I have seen. Remember, one of the things that the rules of Hajj, the method and the rules of Hajj, these are one of the very difficult issues of Sharia. Salah, of course, is easy, but sometimes when you go into the detailed rulings of Salah, it may become a little difficult. If someone will ask us, here a person comes and he says, I was in sajda and I didn't remember. And I started reciting tashahhud in sajda. At-tahiyyatu lillahi wa salawat wa tayyibat. I realized I was in sajda. So right away I got up. Now he's asking you, is my salah valid or not? And I'm sure most of us now would be confused. What should we say about that situation? Is his salah valid or his salah is not valid? Because he didn't recite Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. He didn't recite any of the tasbihat. He was doing tahiyyat in his sajda. So same thing with Hajj. And in Hajj, people tend to make more mistakes. Number one, because they haven't done Hajj. Maybe this is the first in their lifetime, or haven't done it for a long time. And number two, because it's a long process, so people even forget and they end up doing things in a totally opposite or wrong way than it's supposed to be done. So a lot of these issues, they keep on coming up every year in Hajj. I experience new rulings, new things, new mistakes from people, and they are such confusing that sometimes people have given this person all kind of different rulings and fatwas that in reality are not correct. And this person feels that now I have to offer a sacrifice, I have to come back next year, I don't know what else he has to do. The person is in total confusion. So we have to be very careful about how we perform the Hajj. And as I said, very important thing to remember, for us is not a business trip. We are not going for enjoyment or for any other purpose. It's a ibadah, especially. It's one of the very important ibadahs of Islam. So we would like to perform the ibadah in the best way possible. Before going into the ibadah itself and the method of performing the ibadah, since we will be going and experiencing a long journey from here all the way to Makkah and Medina, so I just want to mention some important things that we need to keep in mind for the journey. Although these things may seem to be of the worldly things, but they will make the journey very easy, inshallah, will help you in a lot of different stages of your journey, so that you can inshallah concentrate on your ibadah rather than starting to worry about other things once we are over there. One thing that is very important before we leave, we should make copies of all the important documents that we are taking with us. So if you're taking your passport, and for sure your passport will be with you, so you need to keep a copy of your passport. Keep a copy of the traveler's check that you may be taking. And I will tell you more about money later on. If you have paper ticket, is not e-ticket, then keep a copy of the ticket also. There is a check in your passport that is for so the government. Keep a copy of that check also. These are important documents that we are taking with us. And if there is any other document that is of value and you are taking it with you, keep a copy of it. And may even be easier if you keep an electronic copy nowadays, so that if you need to pull it out, you can just get your email over there and pull it out right there from the computer and print it. God forbid if the passport is lost or check is lost or anything else in that situation, at least you have access to the copies and prove that yes, I'm a citizen of this country, this is my passport number, this is who I am. So it's very important. That will make your life very easy in case of that emergency to have copies of these things. Number two, before leaving, before you get before the day of your travel, make sure you reconfirm your seat. Although your travel agent may have told you that I have confirmed the seat, don't worry about anything, I always suggest reconfirm it before your travel date, because we know during the days of Hajj, that is one of the highest season of traveling, and especially with people of our names. So now, Muhammad Abdullah is traveling, and in their system, there may be 100 Muhammad Abdullah. Now, when you go over there, they check you, okay, we don't have any seat for you today. Your seat is after 3 days. And right there, you're in a situation where you're broken off from your group. People that you're traveling with, they are not with you anymore. So a lot of situations could come up. It's better always to reconfirm the seat. When you're reconfirming the seat, make sure you book your food also at the same time, whichever halal food you prefer. Because if you don't book it, the travel agent may not do it, depending on the airline. You get the food and you realize over there, this is my Hajj trip, I don't want to take a chance, I don't want to eat haram, and right there you have no food. So it's good to reconfirm the ticket and at the same time book the meal also. Keep some food for you for the journey. It's a long journey. Depends on the airline again. If there is a transit somewhere, then the journey may take you around 24 hours before you arrive to the final destination, and could even be longer, because you may be just thinking about arriving at Jeddah. No, we will arrive Jeddah after 20 hours, but from Jeddah to Mecca, you don't know how long it would take over there. So the journey altogether maybe 24 hours, 28 hours, in some situations 30 hours. So keep some food with you for the journey, dry food of course, nothing that kind of spill, and liquids, I'm sure everyone knows that, are more dangerous than guns these days. So, which means they won't let you take it in the plane. Keep some extra pictures with you. Not your spouse's, your own. Keep some extra pictures with you. The back of the picture, it would be good to write your passport number on it, so at least you have a passport number with your picture. And if your passport has an old picture of yours, then take a new picture, staple it at the end of the last page of the passport, and keep it over there, so that if any time someone opens the picture, what happens over there is, other than being on the border or the airports, over there, they will, sometime when they're looking for a passport, they will look at your picture, okay, but this is not you, okay, he's going to put it away. He has no time to read all the names. So, he will be looking at people by their face. That is the fastest way. And now your picture doesn't match you. You took the picture 20 years ago. Or it was the picture of the days of Jahiliyyah. Now you have a different type of picture. So it happens a lot, different type of picture that people come with. And sister having a totally different type of picture, here there is a big scarf. And the person never recognizes her with her scarf. It can be you. So it's good to have the newest picture stapled at the end, at the last page of the passport, so that if a person will look at that picture, at least he will know, okay, this is you. As far as the money over there, don't think of taking cashier check, traveler's check, or any of those type of things, because for cashing that, you will need a passport, and you don't have your passport on you, because the time you arrived at Jeddah, your passport was taken away, and you would get your passport only once you get back to Jeddah. So throughout the journey, throughout your period in Saudi Arabia, you don't have your passport on you. The best thing is to keep cash, and even in cash, keep $100 bills. That will give you the highest value of exchange rate, and out of the $100 bills, keep the newest one, crispy ones. I'm telling you, it makes a difference. So the newer bill will give you a better rate over there than the old bills. If your bills have writing on it, maybe you want to go to the bank and exchange it, because you lose the value of at least 2-3 riyals if there is writings on it, other than what originally is printed on it. So these things do make a difference over there. Keep a pouch with you, with a belt. This is extremely important. You want to keep a good pouch with you, with a belt, so you can keep all the valuables in the pouch. When you're leaving from here and you're packing your handbag, keep at least one pair of your dress clothing in your handbag. Sometimes people at the arrival over there, they don't get their bag. And if you don't have it, you need to change right after you take, after Umrah, or as soon as you get over there. If you're going to Medina, you want to change, and you don't have no clothing on you, with you. except the pair that you're wearing, and after 24 hours, for sure you want to change it. So keep at least one pair and rest. Don't worry, you can buy a lot over there, but at least one pair, if a person would need it at any time, at least it's there. Things that you need over there. And this is why I kept these papers over there if anyone wants to. No, this is not the side, the written side is not for, the purpose of it is not that side, it's the other side, so you can make your notes, things you want to take with you, because we may forget later on. Things that we may need over there. Keep at least 2 small padlocks with you. Number 2, you need a nail clipper, but you can get it over there. 2 locks is better to carry them from here. At least you have them with you. As soon as you arrive Jeddah, you get your bag over there, put the locks on it. Here, you are not allowed to lock your bag. Or you may lock it without really locking it, just keeping it in the zipper and locking it and saving the keys with you. But it cannot be locked from here because this is against the rule. They want you to keep it open so when they want to check it, otherwise they'll break your bag. So don't lock it from here. You can put the lock in it or on it, but don't lock it. Another thing that people really need over there is fragrance-free soap. A soap, fragrance-free, because during Ihram, we are not allowed to use anything with fragrance. And you may find it over there, but last year our experience was that it was a little difficult to find it over there. Every year before that it was very easy. Only last year was difficult. So Allahu Alam what will be the situation this year. But if you can find fragrance-free soap, get it and keep it with you. But don't spend extra money because it's amazing. You know, they make a soap and they charge you a certain amount of money. And then fragrance-free, it will be even a higher price that you have to pay. They didn't have to even put a fragrance in it, and it's still higher price. So just like food, you buy sugar-free, so they save their sugar and you pay extra amount of money for buying sugar-free. So over there, you get it very inexpensive. And if I use the word cheap, it won't be wrong for it, comparing to what you pay over here. Anyway, if we get something reasonable, it's good to keep it. In case of emergency, keep some bandage with you also. That helps. Sometime by accident you kick something, you hit something, you get a small cut or something. So it's good to have some bandages with us. For the journey, during the journey and over there, you would need tasbih. That is very important. Keep a subha with you, so that will always remind you, keep on using your time in the remembrance and the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise, we forget and the person doesn't know what to do with his time, and it's a long journey and we are sitting in the bus, we don't know what to do. I want to read Quran but I don't have wudu, and all of these situations. Keep a subha with you, recite subhanallah, astaghfirullah, la ilaha illallah, whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us tawfiq. So make sure you keep a subha with you. And number 2, of course, we should keep our Quran with us so we can recite as much Quran as possible during this journey. Number 3, any book of dua that you prefer. Unfortunately, these days, people are not used to having books of du'as at home either. So if you tell a person book of dua, and really a lot of people won't even know what book of dua, what does that mean? We should all have some book of dua that we know that this is a book that has a lot of du'as from the Prophet ﷺ. So every day a person recites some of these du'as, he learns some of these du'as. So anyway, keep a book of dua with you. In these days, you want to make sure that you take a jacket or a sweater with you, because it's going to be cold over there. In Mina and Arafat, in Ihram, men won't be able to wear it, but women are still allowed to wear it. So they will wear it even in those days, and for us, we will need it in Medina, and sometime maybe we will need it in Mina and Arafat after the Ihram is off. In Mina and Arafat after the Ihram is off. Keep some type of shoes that you feel comfortable walking in them. Whichever shoes are good and comfortable for you to walk in, keep that, because there will be a lot of walking over there. And for sisters, there is no restriction on what type of shoes they wear as long as they don't take sandals with high heels. That's not the place for it. But, which means something that you can walk in it very comfortably. That is very important because there will be a lot of walking over there. For men, only during the time of ihram, which is only a few days, we won't be able to wear it. But other than that, you would be able to wear those. So keep that with you. In fact, if you are not wearing ihram from here, you may wear them from here also and keep them on you. Now, one more thing. Medicine. If any person is on any type of medication, make sure you keep your prescription and medicine. And that medicine has to be labeled so you don't have a hard time over there at the airport. So, buy the prescription medicine, keep an extra prescription with you, take a prescription from your doctor and keep it with you. And at the same time, make sure the medicine, it's labeled. Don't take it out of the packages to save room, and then you have loose tablets or anything like this and you have difficulty over there. With this, it's always good to keep something like a Tylenol and these type of medicine, that ibuprofen or Tylenol, whichever you prefer, and also one course of antibiotics. Because generally people need that course of antibiotic over there. So it's good to keep one course of it with you, but don't take it without, of course, consulting a doctor over there. If it's needed, then you can use it. Very important for sisters. Don't take any jewelry with you. I'm sure people don't plan to take it, they plan to bring it from there, but still I have to remind that don't take any jewelry with you. During the days of Hajj, you don't want to wear any jewelry. Don't depend on your purse that I'm going to keep my valuable in my purse. Never. You can never save your valuables in your purse. Remember, these are the days when throughout the world, people's eyes are on that place. And I'm telling you, this is a fact. Everyone's eyes are just at that place in those days. All people, different people go over there for their own agenda. They have their agenda of going over there. Me and you may be going for ibadah, but the 3 million people that are coming over there, not all of them, and I'm telling you, not all of them are there for ibadah. There is a good number of people that would be there for different purposes. All the way from stealing and robbing people, up to trying to destroy your Hajj. Everything is happening there. So, and every year we hear cases. Even after we say this, every year we hear cases where a sister carrying large sum of money in her purse and the purse was gone. She thought, no, I can hold it, I will be holding it. And before she even knew it, people who come over there, they are experienced. They came for that purpose. It's not a person from the street just came and went for Hajj to steal over there. These are the people who were trying, which means getting lessons on it for the whole year or for years. And they come there every year for doing the same thing. So within seconds you lose your stuff and you won't even know it. 2 years ago, I think, or 3 years ago, a sister who had her small purse tied inside of her socks, on her leg, inside of her socks. And when she went into sujood, that was gone. From inside the socks. So, this is only an example to let you know that you have to be careful and don't take chances with these type of things. As I said, then a person just starts worrying about these things over there, and no reason of putting ourselves in that situation. Now, of course, we want to talk about ihram and things you would need for ihram. So as we are preparing for ihram, for sisters, as I said, there isn't too many restrictions as much as there are for men. And if it was the other way around, you would have heard it everywhere in the news. But there are certain restrictions that is for everyone. Now, generally, preparing for ihram is that you want to make sure you take simple clothing for sisters, nothing attractive, nothing that will draw people's attention to it, in a way that is very modest, because it's ibadah. You don't want to ruin your ibadah and the ibadah of other people. Men, of course, will be wearing, during the days of ihram, will be wearing only 2 sheets and a slipper. That's it. So, this is the ihram for men, the 2 sheets and a slipper. If a person is going straight to Medina, then don't even worry about buying the ihram from here. Buy everything in Medina Munawwara, and then you can take it with you to Makkah, whatever you need from there. But if you're going straight to Makkah, then for sure you need at least 1 pair of ihram with you. So then you will keep a pair of ihram, slippers that you can use during ihram, and the belt, as I said, pouch with a belt, so that you can tie your ihram with it and at the same time keep your valuables in it. If you wear glasses, try to keep, and the reason I said try, you really should do it, but I take only 1, that's why I said try. Try to take an extra pair with you. Now, it's time for the person to leave home. Before leaving home, try to fulfill all the rights of people as much as possible. If you have done wrong to people, ask them to forgive you. If you owe people anything, give it back to them, or straighten that situation as much as you can. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness and continuously keep on asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness for anything that you have done in the past. You are going on a journey where we expect, inshallah, everyone comes back from the journey, as Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, رَجَعَ كَيَوْمِ وَلَدَتْهُ أُمُّهُ. Comes back, that's the day he was born. Free of sins, totally, clean records, pure heart. Iman, the heart is ready to accept Iman. And the Iman could get into the heart as it comes in the heart. It will just keep on getting into the heart because all the dirt, all the dust, all the rust, everything is gone. All the sins are washed away. The person is clean and pure, and now he is just ready to start a fresh life now. When a person is leaving for this journey, we should always think that I want to make this journey a journey of a lifetime that will bring a change in my life. A journey that will change my life. I don't want to come back in the same situation that I'm leaving, which means come back and being same person that I was before. Now, when people would see me, they would see totally new person here, with a new personality, a personality of Iman. People can see that, mashallah, after Hajj, we see that this person, alhamdulillah, is more into the deen of Allah. This person have really changed. So we want to go with that intention to bring that change in our life, inshallah. Out of the things that we take, I forgot one more thing, that in Mina and Arafat, you would need a sleeping bag. Especially for those people who do not use futa. You know what futa? In Urdu they call it lungi. A sheet that we wrap it around yourself. You know, the brothers from Yemen and Bangladesh, they use it as part of their dress. So they're used to it. For people like us, we are not used to wearing that. Now, ihram sheet is open from the side, like it's not sewn all the way. So it's not round, it's a straight sheet, so you tie it around yourself. You are not used to using it, so when you go to sleep, it opens up. So therefore, in that situation, sleeping bag is the best thing that you get in it. So now you don't have to worry about anything. But if you don't do that, and you just take a sheet on top of you and the sheet moved or something, and under the sheet is muharramat there. As one of the scholars, he said, during Hajj when I wake up for Salat al-Tahajjud, I close my eyes and walk. He said, it's maybe less to step on people's feet than to keep my eyes open. So this is why sleeping bag is one of the good choices really for having it over there. keep a small pillow with you. That helps, although in some of the packages you get a sleeping bag, or not a sleeping bag, you get a bedding over there. And most of the travel agents that discourage people from taking a sleeping bag because it takes room everywhere, in the bus, in Mina, Arafat, all of those places. So they don't like people to take it, and I always fight with them, and I always encourage people to take it. Because for us, as I said, we are not used to sleeping in that way with ihram. The handbag that you have would be good if you are used to carrying a backpack. Then keep a backpack with you. That becomes very helpful. If not, at least you should have a stroller that with the tires, so you can pull it. You don't have to always carry it in your hand, because it becomes difficult. There is a lot of walking over there, and becomes difficult for some time to walk for long distances while carrying weight. So backpack becomes very handy. At that time you can keep your stuff, and at the same time as a stroller that you can pull, that may also be very helpful. But just something that you carry, it's very difficult. This is for the carry-on. So that carry-on, you will keep it with you. Your bags will stay in Makkah. But when you go for 5 days, Mina, Arafah, Muzdalifah, back to Mina, during those days, you will be having a backpack, or you have your carry-on that you had with you, like the stroller type of thing. You keep it with you. And you keep all the valuables, or not valuables, all the things that you need, you keep them in that you need during those 5 days, which means 2 pair of clothing. This is over there, not from here. So you will when you're packing that for now ready to go for Hajj, you're packing your one bag that you will keep with you at all times. So that will have at least 2 pair of clothing, 1 extra pair of ihram, and your slippers or shoes that you will be wearing, and the jacket, because if you're in ihram for men, you are not wearing it at that time. So these extra things that you need in Mina and Arafat and Muzdalifah, you would keep them in that bag. Now, let's go into the journey itself and performing the ibadah. Leaving from here, make sure you recite all the du'as for leaving home. Before leaving home, perform 2 rak'ah salah, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive all the sins, make the journey easy, and accept this journey. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept the ibadah of everyone that comes over there. One of the dua, special dua you want to make, that Ya Allah, I'm going through this journey. Don't make me a harmful person to anyone during this journey. Make me a person that will always be providing the most comfort to others. You don't want to go over there and be a burden on others, which means on other Hajjaj, regardless who they are, from which part of the world they may have come. Make salam and dua to your family. Make the du'as that Prophet ﷺ used to make. Astawdi'u Allah deenakum wa amanatakum wa khawatima a'malikum. Give them, which means you are giving them as a trust to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Ya Allah, keep this trust until I come back. For the car, for the journey, at every step, try to remember all of these du'as. And there are small books of du'as that will have all of these du'as. Now, during the journey, make sure that you offer all the prayers on time. I see a lot of people missing fara'id while going for Hajj. Hajj is still less faridah than the salawat. Salah is the most important one. The person is going for Hajj and missing the normal prayers. So, we have to be very regular, punctual on all of our fara'id, on the salawat. On the way, try to make use of the time as much as possible. Reciting as much Quran as possible. Is a long journey. Make a task. Means fix some juz of Quran that, okay, during this journey, I'm going to be reciting 10 juz, 15 juz. These many juz I want to recite during my journey. I want to recite blessings on durood and salah ala Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We are going to Medina, so I want to recite it 100,000 times. I want to recite it 50,000 times, whatever that may be. So this is the journey where we need to make best use of our time as much as we can. As I said, if you're going straight to Makkah, then you need to keep your ihram with you. And everything that you need for ihram, all the necessities of ihram, keep them with you. Make sure the bag is not too big that they pull it away from you at the airport and then your ihram is gone. So don't make the bag too big or too heavy. Otherwise, sometime they would take it from you at the gate. And they will say, you will get it when you arrive Jeddah. Your ihram is gone and you need it before you arrive Jeddah. Now, the method of doing ihram. And don't let this method worry you. I will explain more details to it in a few minutes. But the proper method of wearing ihram, that a person takes shower, and then he wears the 2 sheets of ihram. Sisters wear normal clothing. And after wearing these 2 sheets of ihram, the person performs 2 rak'ah salah. After these 2 rak'ah salah, he makes the intention of Hajj or Umrah or Hajj and Umrah, whichever he is planning to do, and I will explain that. And then he recites Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik. This is the method of putting on the ihram. But now the question would be that what if we are in the plane and we cannot take a shower? We cannot perform the 2 rak'ah salah, but of course you will be able to do the salah anyway. But in case, remember, taking the shower is sunnah. Performing the 2 rak'ah salah is sunnah. So if you don't do it, it's fine. The thing that is must to do is to change the clothing, have 2 sheets on you, and perform labbaik, recite labbaik Allahumma labbaik, make the intention and recite labbaik. These are the 3 things that we have to do. God forbid, you get in a situation where even you lost your ihram. What to do now? Is still make the intention and recite labbaik. When you arrive Jeddah, get the 2 sheets over there and change your ihram. In simple words, not to confuse you, but so that we know the ruling, in reality, these sheets normally are known as to be ihram. In reality, this is not ihram. This is called ihram, but it's not really ihram. The real ihram is intention and labbaik. That is the real ihram. Wearing the normal clothing is not allowed during ihram for man, and therefore we have to wear the sheets. See what I'm saying? So this is called ihram, is not ihram. Ihram is intention and labbaik. Wearing the normal clothing during ihram is not allowed, therefore we say change it before the intention. But if you didn't change it before intention, still you can make the intention of ihram, you wear the ihram. So now you are in ihram, but you are going against the rule of ihram by wearing normal clothing. So as soon as you arrive Jeddah, you buy the ihram, you find that you can buy it over there at the airport and change your clothing. If it was for a short period of time, which means 7 hours, 8 hours, all you have to do is pay some sadaqah for not wearing the sheets of ihram at the time of making the intention, and that's all you have to do. Rather than going against the second order, and that is passing the border. That is the border that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, which is called miqat. Passing the border without ihram. That is a worse situation than making the intention and not wearing the sheet. So anyway, making it simple, you wear your ihram. How to wear the ihram? If it is possible to take a shower, take a shower. If it is possible, if not possible, and you can make wudu and perform 2 rak'ah salah, make wudu and perform 2 rak'ah salah. Even if that is not possible, then just wear your ihram, make the intention and recite talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wal ni'mata laka wal mulk, la sharika lak. 1 is fard and 3 times is sunnah, recited 3 times. Very simple method of wearing ihram. That is, change your clothing, make wudu, perform 2 rak'ah salah if you can. More preferably, if you can, take a shower. If not, then don't worry about it. And if you can't even do the wudu and 2 rak'ah salah, at least change your clothing, wear the 2 sheets, and make the intention and labbaik Allahumma labbaik. If you're going to Makkah first, you would have to wear the ihram before arriving Jeddah. At least an hour before arriving Jeddah. And of course, in these days, wear it much before that, because there will be a lot of crowd at the bathroom before that, because everyone wants to change the ihram. So, wear the ihram before arriving Jeddah. If a person is going straight to Medina, and straight to Medina means you may be in Riyadh or in Jeddah for transit, but after that you would go to Medina. From Jeddah you are going to Medina, you are not going to Makkah. Then don't wear ihram. You don't need to wear ihram, don't wear it. You would go to Medina, and when you are coming back from Medina to Mecca, at that time you will wear your ihram. If a person goes to Medina first, you would go to Medina and stay in Medina in normal clothing. Then when you are coming back to Mecca, then you will wear ihram while you are leaving Medina. That you would see it over there, and everyone will instruct you over there on wearing and where the ihram from when leaving Medina Munawwara. What the person would make the intention for when wearing the ihram. We said make the intention for ihram. What that intention would be for. You would be doing either Hajj or Umrah, or you are combining Hajj and Umrah. There is 3 types of Hajj. And now, again I would say, if this is the first time you're hearing it, don't confuse yourself. If you're reading book, don't confuse yourself. I will tell you all 3 types of Hajj, and then I will tell you what Hajj you would be doing. 3 types of Hajj. One is called Ifrad, the other is called Tamattu, the third is called Qiran. Ifrad means a person going from here and he is planning to do Hajj only, no Umrah. The person is not planning to do Umrah. This is Hajj Ifrad. Hajj Tamattu is you are planning to do Umrah. What you're going to do is you go Mecca, do Umrah, and then you have some days before Hajj, you take your ihram off. Then on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, you would put on the ihram again for Hajj. So you went from here, you performed Umrah, then you took the ihram off, then you put on the ihram again for Hajj. This is Hajj Tamattu. The third is Hajj Qiran. Qarana yaqrinu means combining 2 things together, putting 2 things together. This is why horn of the animal is called qarn, because normally they have 2, not 1. So qarn, 2 things. So Qiran is combining it, which means a person is going from here, he would wear the ihram for Hajj and Umrah together. He will wear the ihram for Hajj and Umrah together. You would go over there to Mecca, perform Umrah, don't take the ihram off. Keep the ihram, with the same ihram you perform the Hajj. The difference between Qiran and Tamattu, in Qiran, you performed Umrah and Hajj with the same ihram. In Qiran. In Tamattu, you did Umrah first, took the ihram off, and then you wear the ihram again for Hajj Qiran. This is Qiran. In Tamattu, you made the Umrah, took the ihram off, and now you put the ihram on again for Hajj, and this is called Hajj Tamattu. So Ifrad is Hajj by itself, no Umrah. Tamattu, you would perform Umrah, but you would take the ihram off between the Hajj and Umrah. Qiran is with the same ihram, you would perform Hajj and Umrah. So now when you are in the plane and you are making the intention, you will have to decide. Generally, no one would do Hajj Ifrad going from here. So you will be making the intention of Hajj Tamattu or Qiran. Qiran is the best type of Hajj. But it's more difficult because you will have to keep the ihram on throughout the time that you are in Mecca until you would perform Hajj and finish your Hajj. Generally, people who go from here, they do Hajj Tamattu, which means they go and perform Umrah, and then they take the ihram off, and then they would go to, they would wear the ihram on again for Hajj. So generally people do Tamattu. People who go straight to Medina, and then they go to Mecca, normally they do Qiran or Tamattu. They have choice for both. Or in fact, I would say that then mostly their choice would be Ifrad or Qiran. Ifrad means from Medina you go to Mecca, and at the time of going to Mecca, this is what many groups do, and that is they will take you straight to Medina. How is it that you people are doing? Any idea?
We're doing
Tamattu. Okay. So, people who go to Medina straight, they would go to Medina straight, and then just a day before Hajj, they will go to Mecca. So now at that time, doing Tamattu is impossible. Because there is no reason for a person to do Umrah, take the ihram off, and then do Hajj. So the choices are 2, Ifrad or Qiran. Ifrad means he would go to Mecca and then he would just wait for Hajj and he would go for Hajj. He won't do any tawaf or umrah at that time. And Qiran means you would go to Mecca, perform tawaf and sa'i for umrah. And then you stay in the ihram until you go for Hajj. In either case, you will have to stay in that ihram when you're leaving from Medina and you're going just a day before or arriving on the day of Hajj. So generally, you will keep your same ihram. Now with that ihram, the choice is, are you going to go to Mecca and do tawaf and sa'i and then go to Mina, or you are going to go straight to Mina, or even if you stay in Mecca, you are not going to do tawaf and sa'i. So if you don't do tawaf and sa'i, your Hajj will be ifrad. And if you do perform tawaf and sa'i, that Hajj will become qiran. Your intention, you have to make the intention ahead of time. In Hajj ifrad, you don't have to slaughter the animal. If you do ifrad, slaughtering the animal is not must. But in tamattu' and qiran, you have to slaughter the animal. Why would you do ifrad instead of qiran? This will be for elderly people, women, or if you are arriving Makkah Mukarramah just on the 7th or 8th of the Hijjah. Then I would recommend don't wear the ihram for qiran. Because generally, after this whole journey, then being in Medina for those days, and then going from Medina to Mecca, which takes you another about 15 hours or 20 hours. Now, there is a whole Hajj ahead of you, and you're extremely tired, you need rest, but you put the ihram on for qiran, so you have to go and perform tawaf and sa'i, and it is extremely crowded. Everyone, whoever is doing qiran, they are doing tawaf and sa'i at that time. So it's extremely crowded. Not to scare you, but this is for planning purpose. So that when you get over there, you know what to do. So especially for women, I would never recommend if you're going from Medina and arriving there on the 7th or 8th and you would do qiran. Don't ever try it. For elderly people, don't try it. If you're young, you want to take that chance, inshallah, you may be able to do it. Now, the method of performing the Hajj. Or before that, let's talk about the method of performing the Umrah for those who are doing tamattu'. First thing you will be performing Umrah. So, you arrive Makkah Mukarramah. You would go to the hotel, put your baggage over there. One of the common mistake people make, they go to the hotel and they start washing their hands with the soap. That soap in the hotel has fragrance because you paid a lot of money. So it's not a fragrance-free soap that you would get over there. And right there, you went one against the rule of the ihram, and that is using of a fragrance is not allowed. So be careful. This is a common mistake people make over there. Now you put your stuff over there. If you are able, take a shower, get yourself ready, and go to haram. When going to the haram, generally people from this part of the world, they take hotels very close to the haram. So therefore, if your hotel is very close to the haram, then keep your slippers at the hotel, into your room. Walk bare feet, because you don't want to keep on worrying about your slippers throughout the time. When you're doing tawaf and sa'i, you will enter from one door, you'll come out totally the other side. So if that's one less headache for you, if you keep your slippers at your home and then just walk bare feet, or maybe some of the for the surgeons and those type of people who have some special type of covering for the feet, if you have access to that, keep few of those. Don't steal it from the hospital, buy it, but keep some of those so you can get to the door of the haram and throw it, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. But still keep a small bag for keeping the slippers for the future times when you go to the haram. If your hotel is very close, it may be best that always keep the slippers in the haram, in the hotel room, but you will get used to that and you would know your situation after that. First time, don't take it. Especially, as I said, if you are very close to the haram. When you're entering the haram, remember the number of the door that you're entering from. Because all the doors have a number. And you look around, you say, okay, I remember it's 2 pillars like this, and this is where I'm entering from. And you go inside, Haram of Makkah, you go in circle. You know that. And when you go in circle, during the circle now you're looking, all sides are looking same. I don't know where I came from. So remember the number. Number 2, remember the side of the door in connection with the black stone. In connection with the black stone in this side, and my door is the opposite side or the same side or on the right of it. So in connection with the black stone, remember the entrance of the haram that you entered from. That will be the easy thing for you to remember. If you're going with other group of people, your friends, family, anything like this, stay together as much as you can, but don't pay your full attention towards just staying together. And throughout the ibadah, you're just thinking about staying together. Generally, people who have experience, you can stay together easy. But in case if anyone is lost, you should have an understanding, we are not going to wait for each other over here. We are not going to look for each other over here. A person may be only 3 feet away from you, and you spend hours looking for the person. 3 million people. Not easy to find people. The best thing is, if we get lost, finish your tawaf, we will go back and meet at the hotel room. We will meet over there in our room or in the lobby, whatever that is. But after, if we don't find someone, or if someone is lost, we are not going to stop. We are not going to start looking. Don't even bother looking. Finish your ibadah and come back, and we will meet over there. I will come back after Isha. I will come back after Fajr. I will come back after Zohar, and then we will meet over there. Now, you have your ihram on, you went into the haram. Remember to recite the dua of entering the haram and the dua of seeing the Kaaba. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the dua at the time of seeing the Kaaba, the dua is accepted. That is the prime time of the acceptance of dua. So make as much dua as you can as soon as you see the Kaaba. But when you see, don't stand right in the door, in the middle. Move away so that you are not on people's way and you don't keep on pushing people, or you are not hurting people by standing on their way. So move away and make dua. Now you would be approaching the Kaaba. Instead walking towards the Kaaba, as you approach the Kaaba, you are heading towards the black stone. This is where your tawaf will start from. You don't perform 2 rak'ah tahiyatul masjid over there, because your tawaf is the replacement of tahiyatul masjid. So you go over there towards the black stone. Before you get to the black stone, now for men, you want to do something that is called ittiba' in Sharia. Ittiba' means take the sheet from under the right arm. Take the sheet from under the right arm and put it on the left shoulder. This is called ittiba'. This ittiba' will continue for the whole tawaf. From the beginning till the end of the tawaf, you would be doing ittiba'. And the second thing during the tawaf you would do is called ramal. This is for men only. And ramal means walking like soldiers, moving the arms and walking like that. It's not really running. People think that ramal means you run. It's not running. It's just walking like soldiers would walk by moving the arms. This is ramal. So you do ittiba' for the whole tawaf for men, and ramal in the just first 3 rounds of the tawaf. Of every tawaf after which there is a sa'i. Not normal every tawaf. Every tawaf after which there is a sa'i. You would do ittiba' and ramal. Now, you got to the black stone. You already fixed your sheet to have the ittiba'. Make the intention before you face the line of the black stone. Some of the books will say that go to the black line at the black stone. Remember, that black line is not there anymore. There used to be a strip there that will tell you that you are straight with the line of the black stone. They removed it. So it's not there anymore. So now you will have to just aim it towards the black stone by yourself, on your own. So you go over there. Before you face the black stone, make the intention, Ya Allah, I'm making the intention of performing this tawaf for the umrah that I am performing. You made the intention, and now you move so that you are facing the black stone. Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. And you kiss your hand, and you start walking. Your left side will be towards the Kaaba. You want to go 7 rounds. As you start walking, you keep on walking, you do the Rumal. Now, for the 3 rounds, you will be doing Rumal. At the 3rd round and the end of the 3rd round, you will stop the Rumal. As you're walking, don't look here and there. People are excited. They want to see the Kaaba. They want to see people. They want to see the Haram. They want to see the lights, cameras, everyone, everything. People come back and they even counted how many lights were there. But just like in Salah, we are supposed to keep our gaze down in front of us. Same way in Tawaf, the ruling is keep your gaze down right in front of you. Don't even look at the Kaaba. That is not the time. Just keep on keeping your gaze straight down and keep on walking in that direction. During this Tawaf, you would be the best thing, the best ibadah is to recite tasbihat. Praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, glorifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeking Allah's forgiveness. Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanallah al-azim, astaghfirullah. These type of tasbihat, these are the best ibadah of tawaf during tawaf. Until when you get to the corner before the black stone. That is known as Ar-Rukn al-Yamani because it's towards Yemen. When you get over there, between Rukn al-Yamani and the black stone, you would recite رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. In some of the narrations, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was also heard reciting in that portion, رَبِّ قَنِّعْنِي بِمَا رَزَقْتَنِي وَبَارِكْ لِي فِيهِ وَاخْلُفْ عَلَى كُلِّ غَائِبَةٍ لِي بِخَيْرٍ. So this is also mustahab masnoon to recite during that in that section. And as I said, most of the hadiths talk about رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Other than that, the books that give you the du'as for tawaf, of course, those du'as means they just collected du'as. They are not really the du'a of tawaf because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam never recited du'as loudly during the tawaf. All he was heard was doing tasbihat, so that is the best ibadah. Sometimes people try to hold to the book and then they just read from the book and they don't even understand. Better than that is you make dua for yourself. I generally advise people that think of 7 most important things you want to make dua for. Make a target that these are the 7 things I want to make dua for. And then in each round of the tawaf, make dua for one of these things. So that will be one of the good things. Otherwise, you can just keep on mixing the du'as. We normally make dua, just keep on making dua throughout the rounds until you get to the Rukn al-Yamani, and then you recite رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. After 3 rounds, man stop doing rumal, stop moving that hand and now walk normally. Women were walking normally even from the beginning, which means there is no change, no difference. At each time that you finish 1 round, you would face the Kaaba. Generally, you won't face it now. You don't turn your chest towards the Kaaba. It's against the rule. So, you will keep it straight, but when you come to the black stone again, you would face the black stone and again, Bismillahi Allahu Akbar, and you kiss your hand. Of course, the books will say that you go and kiss the black stone, but generally it's too difficult to do it, especially in those days. So, practically, this is what you would be doing, that you would face it, you and say Bismillahi Allahu Akbar, kiss your hand, and now continue to the 2nd round. So, this is how you would be performing 7 rounds of tawaf. After finishing the tawaf, you need to perform 2 rak'ah salah. Again, books will say, and this is in the hadith, that perform 2 rak'ah salah at maqam Ibrahim. Which means, you will see a place over there that is known as Maqam Ibrahim that has the footprints of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. So praying 2 rak'ah behind it is sunnah, but you won't be able to do it, especially in the days of Hajj. And people sometimes they think, no, it's must that I have to do it there. And then they come in a group of people, 4 or 5 people are fighting everyone to hold people from coming in front of this person, and there are 2 or 3 people performing the rak'at over there, 2 rak'ah over there, disturbing everyone's tawaf and ruining their own salah too. Wherever you can find a place, go towards the back and perform 2 rak'ah salah. As I said, it's sunnah to do it in Maqam Ibrahim, but you won't practically, with the crowd of those days, you won't be able to do it. So go anywhere in the back of the haram where there is room to perform salah and perform 2 rak'ah salah over there. These are the 2 rak'ah salah of tawaf. In the first rak'ah you recite Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun. In the second rak'ah you recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad. This is mustahab. And make dua after the 2 rak'ah salah. After that, if it's available to you, drink the water of Zamzam. Now go towards Safa and Marwa. You will be going towards Safa. Safa and Marwa, initially there were 2 mountains over there where you would be doing the tawaf between them. But nowadays you really don't see the real mountain, you just see a little hill on both sides. So you go on top of the Safa, and as you're climbing the mountain of Safa, you recite, إِنَّ الصَّفَا وَالْمَرْوَةَ مِنْ شَعَائِرِ اللَّهِ فَمَنْ حَجَّ الْبَيْتَ وَاعْتَمَرَ فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِ أَنْ يَطَوَّفَ بِهِمَا. This ayah. And now you would be facing towards the Kaaba. You stand, you go up, and you don't have to climb it all the way, halfway, and turn towards the Kaaba. Your chest is towards the Kaaba, and make dua. This is the time of the acceptance of dua once again. So you make dua over there. As you normally raise your hand in dua, this is how you would raise your hands and make dua. And when you finish, you just finish your dua and start walking towards Marwa. From here, as you're heading towards Marwa, you would see 2 green lines up. They're lights also. They're called Milayn Akhdarain, 2 green lines. It's sunnah for men to run in between these 2 lines. This is where Hajra radiallahu anha was running between the lines. So it's sunnah for men to run between the 2 lines if possible. So you would run. Now this is not walking like a soldier, like in Tawaf. This is running. So you run over there till the next line. It's not sunnah to run for women. It's only for men. You continue, same thing. The best ibadah of sa'i is dua and tasbihat. And if a person is done with dua and tasbihat, then he can recite Quran or do anything else. So the best ibadah is dua and tasbihat. You go to Marwa. Again, you get onto the hill of Marwa and face towards the Kaaba again. Make dua as you normally would make the dua. When you finish the dua, now you have finished 1 round and you're ready to start the second round and heading towards Safa again. You would be making 7 rounds in this way, which means you started at Safa and end at Marwa. So your sa'i will start at Safa, it will end at Marwa. Over there at Marwa, if you are doing Hajj Tamattu', which means now this is only Umrah. Your intention for this ihram was Umrah only. So now it's time for you to take the ihram off. So you would go and cut your hair or shave your head, and now your ihram is over. Go and change your clothing and your ihram is done. As far as the ihram for Hajj, and before I go, that one more thing that I remembered, we said about tamattu' and qiran. And now you need to pay a little attention so that you understand the point. We said about tamattu' and qiran. In tamattu' you don't take the ihram, you take the ihram off in tamattu' and then you wear it again for Hajj. In Qiran, you don't take the ihram off after Umrah. You keep the same ihram until Hajj. Remember, this doesn't mean you cannot change these sheets of ihram. Same ihram means same intention. As I said earlier, ihram is really intention. So you are in the same intention, same rules of ihram. You can change these sheets as many times as you want. Although it's not good to just keep on changing them. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith, the best Hajj, أفضل الحج العج والثج. Al-Ajj means the person keeps on reciting labbaik loudly, and thaj means shedding a lot of blood of animals, doing a lot of sacrifices. And in another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the best haji, the best person performing hajj is ash-sha'ith al-ghabr. That a person whose hair are dirty, his clothes are dirty. Which means his worry over there is not how I look and how my clothing are and my hair and is standing in front of the mirror and taking a shower. No, just Don't worry about dirt, don't worry about anything. Don't dirty it intentionally, but whatever happens, don't worry about it. And keep on concentrating on your ibadah. Don't try to stay clean and changing and taking shower and all of that. Now we are ready for Hajj. On the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, and sometime nowadays because of the crowd, your group may go on the 7th, so just for you to remember, but according to the rule of the Sharia, on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, you are ready to go to Hajj, to Mina. You would wear the ihram from Makkah. You don't have to go out of Makkah to wear the ihram for Hajj. For Umrah you would need to go out. But for Hajj, you can wear the ihram right there. Wear the ihram, which means change the sheets. If possible, go to the haram, perform 2 rak'ah salah, make the intention, so at least your intention was made inside the haram. If not, make it at your room. After the intention, now this was the intention for performing Hajj. I'm going to take a little pause for people who are doing Qiran. When you're in the plane, if you're doing Qiran from the plane, or you're leaving from Medina to Mecca and doing Qiran, so at the time of wearing the ihram, you make the intention, Ya Allah, I'm wearing this ihram for Hajj and Umrah together. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Now this became Qiran. But if you're going only for Tamattu', then Ya Allah, I'm making the intention for making the Umrah, and you make the Umrah, take the ihram off, and then again now you're wearing the ihram, and this will be the intention of only Hajj, no Umrah to it, because you performed your Umrah already. So you made the intention for Hajj, and you had your ihram on, made the intention. On the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, you go to Mina. You need to arrive in Mina before Dhuhr. You need to arrive in Mina before Dhuhr on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. Perform 5 prayers. I'm going to keep it very simple without going into the detailed rulings, so that we remember it. 8th of Dhul Hijjah, before Dhuhr, you arrive Mina. In Mina, you would perform 5 prayers. Easy way to remember how long you want to stay. 5 prayers. Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha of which day? 8th of Dhul Hijjah. And the Fajr of the next day, which is 9th of Dhul Hijjah. Now I need you to talk, to have the word of talking now. Half of the work of talking, you would do it so that you remember, inshallah. So 9th of Dhul Hijjah, you perform Salatul Fajr in Mina. After that, you are ready to go to Arafah. And Arafah is the Hajj, is the most important part of the Hajj. You want to arrive Arafah before Zawal. Get yourself ready. If possible, you can take a shower, go ahead and take a shower. Get yourself ready. After Zawal, the time of Arafah would start. Even if you arrive earlier, you can rest. The time of Arafah would start at Zawal. Zawal means at the time of Dhuhr would start. Now, from Zawal until sunset, Ghurub, until sunset, is your time for Wuquf of Arafah. What does Wuquf Arafah means? Dua. Making dua. That is the real ibadah of Hajj. Dua, dua and dua. Remember this. Dua and tasbihat together are the most important ibadah of Hajj. So, now, you will be in Arafah, 9th of Dhul Hijjah, from Zuhr until Ghurub, until sunset. This is the time of dua. As much as dua you can make while standing up, that is the best way. Otherwise, do it sitting down. You got tired, lay down. But it's the time for dua. You can do dua in any form you want. The best form is to stand up and make dua. After Zawal, you perform Salatul Dhuhr. Then, the time of Asr, you perform Salatul Asr. At sunset, it's time for Maghrib, but the rule on that day is that you do not perform Salatul Maghrib in Arafat. You would leave Arafat after Ghurub, after sunset, and you would be performing Salatul Maghrib where? in Muzdalifah. So leave Arafat towards Muzdalifah, and your time for Maghrib on that day is when you arrive Muzdalifah. You arrive Muzdalifah, Adhan and Iqamah, and now you would perform Salatul Maghrib first and then perform Salatul Isha. After Salatul Isha, you perform your Sunnah and Witr of Isha, perform Nawafil, whatever you want, have rest. And one more thing you want to do in Muzdalifah is collect the pebbles. Collect the pebbles from Muzdalifah. About 70 of them. And the government intentionally throws extra pebbles over there every year so that people can collect it easily. So now you are in Muzdalifah, you're spending the night over there. You perform Maghrib and Isha, after that have some rest and make as much dua as you can. The real time of wuquf of Muzdalifah is right after Salatul Fajr. Salatul Fajr will be performed at the beginning time. Salatul Fajr will be performed at the beginning time, and right after that start making dua. That is the real wuquf of Muzdalifah after Salatul Fajr. You perform Salatul Fajr of what date? 10th of Dhul Hijjah. You did the wuquf after that. After wuquf of Muzdalifah, just before sunrise. Just before sunrise, as the light is up there, you leave from Muzdalifah heading towards Mina. What date is this? 10th of Dhul Hijjah. This is the date or the day when you have the most things to do. Remember, Arafah is the thing where you have to work the hardest in your ibadah. Which means put as much energy as you can in making dua and using the time for ibadah. Now, after that, the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, as you go back to Mina, that day is hectic, which means a lot of things to do. Generally, you would say there are 4 things you need to do on that day. Number 1, when you arrive Mina, you want to stone the shaitan. For this day, you will be stoning only one of them. 7 pebbles to the big one. So, on that day, the first day, you are stoning only one shaitan, 7 pebbles. The method and everything, I will come back to it later. After, this is called Rami. After that, you want to offer the sacrifice. After sacrifice, you want to perform Tawaf al-Ziyarah, which is fard of the Hajj. After that, before that, in fact, the third thing is shave your head and your ihram is off. So again, you arrive Mina, first thing you stone the shaitan. Number 2, slaughter the animal. Number 3, shave your head. Number 4, Tawaf al-Ziyarah. These are the 4 things that we need to do on that day. As I said, I'm not going into really detailed rulings of it. Inshallah, you would hear those details, rulings over there. But here I just want to make it very simple to remember. Now, after you shaved your head, before even Tawaf al-Ziyarah, your ihram is off. You can use the normal clothing now. You can use perfume. All the restrictions of ihram are gone except one, and that is the relationship of men and women. Any that type of conversation, anything of that kind, that will be forbidden. Other than that, all other restrictions are gone. Now, you perform Tawaf al-Ziyarah, you need to perform a sa'i for Hajj. The sa'i is wajib, you need to perform sa'i for Hajj. Either perform it right after Tawaf al-Ziyarah. If you're staying for some extra days after Hajj, perform the sa'i later on when it's less crowded. But whenever you perform sa'i, you need to have a tawaf before it too. So you have to perform an extra tawaf to do the sa'i at that time. And generally staying in Mecca, this is what people would like to do, to keep on doing extra tawaf. So now on the 10th, you performed all of these, your ihram is off, you're going to stay in Mina for at least 2, or if you want 3 more days. Doing what? In those days the ibadah is dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the thing that physically you would just have to go and do is stoning the shaitan for the next 2 or 3 days. Next 2-3 days, you'll be stoning all 3 of them. Starting from the big to middle to the small one. So, stoning all 3 of them in the next 2 days. Or if you stay the 3rd day, then on the 3rd day also. Once you're done with this, you have done your sa'i, your hajj is done. You have completed your hajj. So very briefly, on the 8th of the Hajj, you went to Mina. Perform 5 prayers in Mina. From Mina you went to, after the Fajr of the 9th, you went to Arafah. You stayed in Arafah until Ghurub, at sunset, before performing Salat al-Maghrib. You left for Muzdalifah. In Muzdalifah you performed Salat al-Maghrib and Isha, collected the pebbles, and did the wuquf of Muzdalifah after Salat al-Fajr until before sunrise. After that you leave for Mina, come to Mina, do 4 things: stoning the shaitan, slaughtering the animal, shaving the head, tawaf al-ziyarah, and after that you have the choice whenever you want to do the sa'i, and you finish your sa'i, 2 more days at least, you are stoning the shaitan, your hajj is over. So this is, in brief, the complete method of performing hajj and umrah. Now, few reminders as I go back. I didn't want to bring those things in between, not to confuse everyone. But now, as you remember it, inshallah, we'll go back in few reminders. If a person is late to get to Mina, as I said, 5 prayers, that is sunnah. So if a person, God forbid, for whatever reason is late, he does 3 prayers, 2 prayers, or he doesn't make it to Mina, goes straight to Arafah, still his hajj is valid. But we shouldn't try to do it intentionally, of course, because we want to do the hajj in the most perfect and the best way we can. From Arafah, people leave sometime before sunset. It's not allowed. In fact, one of the well-known groups, a person performed hajj with them, this is 2 years ago, and the person comes and tells me, he says, you know, we had such a good hajj and this. I said, mashallah, but he says, it wasn't crowded. I said, that's impossible. He says, oh yeah, I mean, we went to Arafah before Zuhr, and then our group leader was telling us to leave Arafat before Zuhr, but we insisted to stay until Zuhr. Right after Zuhr, we left Arafah, we went to Muzdalifah, and before sunset, we left Muzdalifah, we went to Mina, we stoned the shaitan, we sacrificed the animal, and we went to Makkah and did the tawaf ziyarah. No one was there. For sure, no one will be there. At the time when people are doing wuquf of Arafah, you are going to Muzdalifah, and you are going to Mina to stone the shaitan, then you go to Makkah, perform tawaf. For sure, no one is going to be there. But did you really do a hajj? This is just like someone says, you know, on Jummah it gets too crowded, so we perform Jummah and there was no one there. So you ask him, when did you perform Jummah? He says, on Sunday. This is exactly what that is. And this is, believe me, that person himself said he paid about $10,000 or $12,000 for that hajj. About $10,000 or $12,000. And really he came back with no hajj at all. No hajj. Forget about now telling him you have to pay a dam or something like this. Not even that. Nothing will make it up. You have to go back and do it again all over. Who's paying for all of that? Of course, those people who are making them do these things. These people don't know it. They think, you know, mashallah, because these people are too experienced, so they are beating the crowd. But you can't do that. So people leave before time. And especially when it comes to Muzdalifah, a lot of people start doing Salat al-Fajr before time. So what they do is, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, one person will call adhan. Because it's not haram, it's not a masjid. Everyone is doing on his own jama'ah. So one person will call adhan. Hearing his adhan, all other people start calling adhan and start doing salah. Whereas the time haven't started yet. And then they want to beat the crowd again. So therefore they leave, or they perform salah and leave. So they missed their wuquf, they missed the time of Muzdalifah, they perform Salat al-Fajr before time, and they're going to Mina before even it's time to leave Muzdalifah. And accordingly they should pay a dam, and if they don't, then they're spoiling their hajj. Another mistake or another thing to remember, when people go to Makkah Mukarramah from Mina, that is the time when it's generally is crowded the most by the Jamarat, at the place of stoning the shaitan. So if you see that it's really crowded, you can go and have some rest, go to your tent, have some rest, and then go to stoning the shaitan, because you have time all the way until sunset. So it's not a rush really. You have time until sunset. Even if you miss it, still there is no time if you do it during the night time. But first day is better to do it before sunset. So there is time. The time is open. Every year, alhamdulillah, with the exception of last year and maybe 1 year in the past sometime, we hear about people dying over there by the Jamarat. That normally happens on the 12th. On the 12th at the time of Zawal. Because people who have to leave, they want to leave, some of them they have their flight and they want to go to Jeddah, and the group leader have told them, we have to leave here before Asr. So now, before Zawal, everyone is just waiting. This is really, if you just want to imagine that, is for the racing, and whether it's horse racing or car racing, and everyone is just ready. 1, 2, 3, and everyone jumps. And this is what happens on the 12th. At the time of Zawal, people are just waiting before Zawal right there. And as soon as Allahu Akbar of the Zuhr, and everyone jumps. And that is the time when majority of the time when people they die over there, that is the time, because everyone wants to just get done of it with this stoning the shaitan on the 12th and leave Mina. They are in a hurry to leave Mina, go back to the hotel rooms, or go back home, or go towards the airport. So that is not a good time on the 12th. Always wait for the right time. On the 12th, wait at least till after Asr. And then after Asr, try to see if the crowd have gone down. Then you can go. Alhamdulillah, every year we do it, and we take sisters with us in our groups, and they all do the stoning without having anyone touch them or push them. So it's simple. And at the same place, we do it at the same place where people are dying every year. But of course, we do it within the allowable time, not after or before the time. So these are just few reminders about this journey. If anyone has any other question, you can go ahead and ask, inshallah. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. Yes, exactly. That rule will still apply. That dua accepted means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will for sure give you something for it.
Can you describe the type of slippers that you're using?
Good. The type of slippers to wear during Hajj is not allowed to wear anything that will cover the bone that is on the middle of the foot. So anything that goes beyond this is not allowed. But anything that stays below that, it's fine. This ruling is for men only. Women can wear anything at any type of shoes. But for men, this bone has to be uncovered and anything behind it. So normal slippers that we have, where you can, there is a knot that goes in between the two fingers, those are normally one of the best ones because you can hold to them also. So, and then they have only two strips going two sides. Those are generally the best ones to wear. The rule of stitches, does it apply on the slipper? No. It doesn't apply on the slipper, on the watch if it has a belt with the stitches, or the belt that a person is wearing. Anything like this, that rule doesn't apply. What happened to the black line? They took it out because what happened was people used to go over there and everyone is pushing others to look for the line. And then he would stop over there on the line. Now he's taking his time. So it used to get too crowded over there. So they took the line that you go over there, just aim towards it and continue.
You said there's 4 things to do in the tent. One was to
Stoning the shaitan.
then offer the sacrifice.
Right. Shave the head.
Now, if the sacrifice is not done, or you're not sure because it's done in a group, can you shave the head?
No, you have to wait until you get the confirmation of the sacrifice being done and then you shave your head.
And is it okay for you to remove the ihram and then perform the
Tawaf is,
the tawaf and sa'i?
yeah, tawaf and sa'i you can do it after, Joe. Right. These are the things that you have to make sure that you finish the stoning, the offering the sacrifice, and shaving. Once this is done, then your ihram is off. Good, you mentioned this. This reminds me. These 4 things. The stoning, the shaitan. As I said, 3 pebbles each day, 7 pebbles each day. For all 3 shaitan, 11, 12, and 13. On the 10th, only 1 shaitan. The method of doing it is, of course, as we normally throw the stone, Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. And if you have time, recite even this dua, Rajman lil-shaytan wa ridan lil-Rahman. Some narrations say, Raghman lil-shaytan wa ridan lil-Rahman, which means to insult shaitan and to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As far as the next step is sacrificing the animal. Sacrificing the animal, many groups, they would buy the tokens over there, and the government does it over there. Is not the best way of doing it because you don't know when it would be done. And we also got some confirmed reports that it continues for almost a month or over that. So, because it's millions of animals. So it's better that if there is a group that you go with and they arrange it, just do it within your group so that the group leader takes responsibility and informs you when yours is done. As far as cutting the hair and shaving the head, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he performed the Hajj, some Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'een thought that we would be able to do another Umrah. So therefore they didn't shave their head. Rasulullah, and some of them, they shaved the head as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after that, when they all were sitting together, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made this dua. Allahumma arhamil muhalliqeen. Ya Allah, have mercy on those who have shaved their head. So some of the Sahaba were sitting there and they didn't shave. They cut their hair, but they didn't shave. They said, "Wal muqassirina ya Rasulullah, ya Rasulullah," and dua for the one who cut it short too, cut their hair. Again he says, "Allahumma arhamil muhalliqeen." Ya Allah, have mercy on those who have shaved their head. Again they said, "Wal muqassirina ya Rasulullah, ya Rasulullah," for the ones who cut their hair too. Again he says, "Allahumma arhamil muhalliqeen." Ya Allah, have mercy on those who have shaved their head. Again they say, "Wal muqassirina ya Rasulullah." Third time he said, "Wal muqassirin." So it's much more virtuous and at least 3 times more rahmah and more dua of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for shaving the head. Tawaf al-ziyarah doesn't have to be on the 10th, remember. That tawaf doesn't have to be on the 10th. If it is difficult, you can do it on the 12th or on the 11th or 12th. Before the sunset of the 12th. That is the maximum limit of it. As far as the sa'i, as I said, for Hajj, it can be done anytime even after that. There is no time limit for it. So if a person is staying longer, then he can do it later. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people, their understanding, and especially from our background, their understanding is Hajj is the last thing to do in the life. So after all of my children are married and they have grandchildren, and then they sometimes wait even for grandchildren to graduate and get married, and by that time the person is on a wheelchair more than having just a can in his hand. So now they go for Hajj, and you see a lot of those people over there, it's really difficult for them, but of course it's far, they have to do it. Except for those who really cannot walk, cannot do it at all anymore, then they have to send someone on their behalf. Would we recommend someone to take kids with them? If it's difficult to keep them behind, then you can take them with you, although it makes it more difficult to have kids with you. Without kids, it's easier. But I won't say that because of that, miss the Hajj or don't do the Hajj because there is no one to take care of the kids. But it still is something doable. It's not impossible. It's only it's extra burden that you have to carry the kids many times with you at a time when you yourself are tired. Then when doing the tawaf, for example, one of you will have to take care of the kids while you're doing the tawaf, then you take care of the kids and the other party would do the tawaf. So it makes it a little more difficult, but it still is doable. Especially if the kids are of the age where they can understand and there is possibility. There is a possibility of taking them where they can remember, which means when they are 8, 9 years old, something like this, where they can even walk. Maybe take them is good. If it's easy to take them financially, it's good. It will have an effect on them too, inshallah. And a woman came and asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam about carrying her infant. Ali hada hajjun ya Rasulullah, ya Rasulullah, is there a hajj for this infant? He said, yes, there is hajj for him. Walaki ajrun, and you will get the reward. Right. The question is, certain things are fard and Hajj that without it your Hajj will not be valid. So what are those things? Those things are, of course, having the ihram on, wearing the ihram, and then going to Arafah, then doing tawaf al-ziyarah, and then at the end shaving the head or cutting the hair and taking the ihram off. These are faraid. But now we are not talking about wajibat. If you miss any of the wajibat, you have to pay them too. And without paying them, your Hajj is still not complete. So that means, now this includes, when you wear the ihram, observe all the rules of ihram. Refrain from the things that are haram in ihram, and don't do like perfume or clothing or anything like this. Then you go to Arafah. Mina, as I said, is sunnah. You go to Arafah. Then you go to Muzdalifah. Muzdalifah is wajib. So you go to Muzdalifah. Then you come back to Mina and stone the shaitan all 3 days. And that is wajib for all 3 days. Offering the sacrifice is wajib. Sa'i is wajib. So these are the wajibat. Putting these things together will be the complete method that I have just mentioned. Mm-hmm. That is very important, that the person, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith, that al-rafiq qabla al-tariq, that see the partner before the path, before the direction. So the person that you are going with, that is very important that he knows what he's doing. Because if he doesn't know, he's going to ruin everyone's hajj. About 3 years ago, a person came to ask a question from one of our neighboring tents. He performed Umrah when he arrived there, and accordingly, he shaved his head. After Umrah, to take the ihram off, he shaved his head. Now he puts the ihram on for Hajj. After he finished his Hajj, he doesn't have hair, so he goes to the group leader and asked him, I don't have hair, what should I do? How am I going to take my ihram off? So he said to him, shave your beard. This is a reality. I'm not joking. So he went and he shaved his beard and took ihram off. Then he came and asked me. So really, the person who's leading the group, he has to know what he's doing. In reality, really, it all depends on the person that is leading the group. If he knows it, you're doing good. The question is about the sisters that are going for Hajj, do they have to have niqab or they don't have to? Niqab has nothing to do with a person doing Hajj. A person who normally wear it should wear it there too. So it has really nothing, no change of order as far as the Hajj is concerned. All it does is, during Hajj is not allowed to have anything touching your face. So what normally sisters who wear niqab do is, they keep something like a hat. And then they would put the niqab on top of it so it doesn't touch their face. So it stays a little away from the face. Aisha radiallahu anha tells us in a hadith which is in Sunan Abi Dawud, كَانَ الرُّكْبَانُ يَمُرُّونَ بِنَا. When we did Hajj with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we used to uncover our face because we were in a group of women. So when the travelers are passing by us, we used to sadalna, niqabana or something like this, that we used to put our niqab down. And once they would go, when the men will go away, then we will uncover our face again. So the ruling of hijab or niqab does not change because of Hajj. It's only that nothing should be touching the face. And this also reminds me that use of towel during ihram, which means a person is in ihram, should not wipe his face with a towel after wudu or ghusl. Is it acceptable to do the sa'i from the second or the third level? Yes, of course. There is nothing wrong in that, in doing it on the second level or the third level.
You said they should not dry themselves after wudu?
Yeah, I mean anyone who's in ihram. What will be the real ruling of a person who doesn't have hair? Of course, over there people do a lot of umrahs, and most of the people will be in that situation. All you have to do is just get a razor and go over it. That's it. Even if nothing comes out, just fulfilling that requirement of going with the razor. That's it. Any other question?
Any suggestion on
Okay, right.
fragrance-free soap?
Any suggestions on fragrance-free soap? If you are going to Medina first, is that the situation? Going to Mecca first? Umrah. And then Medina after Hajj, before Hajj? Before Hajj. Still, you're doing okay. Because, one more thing, remember, in the aeroplane, with the meal, they give you napkins. They have fragrance to it. Avoid that one. So anyway, suggestions about fragrance-free soap. If you can easily find it here, sometime in a dollar store, grab it. And it's real. I mean, sometimes this is where you find it. Otherwise, if you buy it from the beauty shops, you will pay $10 for it. Over there, in Medina, generally, in Medina, when you're leaving Medina, on the Miqat, Zul Hulayfa, you can find those fragrance-free soaps over there. They sell it for $1 or something like this.
Is the use of toothpaste allowed when you are in Ihram?
Good. Is the use of toothpaste allowed during Ihram? No. Not during Ihram because they all have smell to it. So therefore, miswak would be the answer in those days. Someone who have done his own Hajj, can he do Hajj al-Badal going with someone else or on behalf of someone else? Okay. Okay. If someone has done Hajj, can he do Hajj Badal on behalf of parents or something? Yes, of course, you can do Hajj Badal on behalf of whoever you want. It's your choice. Remember, there are two things there that many times people confuse the two. One is called Hajj Badal. The other is you're doing Hajj on behalf of someone to send the reward to that person. Hajj Badal, the difference is, one is, I make the intention, Ya Allah, this Hajj is on behalf of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can do it. Ya Allah, Ali radiallahu anhu used to do sacrifice every year on behalf of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, Ya Allah, this Hajj is on behalf of my brother, my sister, my father, my mother. You can do on behalf of anyone you want. But the other is the one that we call it Hajj Badal, which means someone who have not performed the Hajj. And you are doing the Hajj on that person's behalf. Now, if that person is sending you, then there are rules of that on spending the money and everything about it. If that person didn't tell you, but you felt, it's my father, my mother, I want to do the Hajj on their behalf, and you go and do it, that's fine, no restriction. You can perform the Hajj on behalf of them. Yes. The difference is that Hajj Badal is they did not fulfill it, the Faridah yet. Or even if they have fulfilled it, the person is paying you to go on his or her behalf. For example, someone tells me that I want you to go and perform Hajj on my behalf or on behalf of my father. So now he is taking the responsibility of the expenses of the Hajj. Now I'm doing the Hajj, but I'm doing it for that person. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, some people would do the Hajj and 3 people will get the reward. Sometime a person does a Hajj, 3 people get the reward. The person who's doing it, for sure he's getting his reward because he's doing it. Number 2, the one who paid for it will get the reward. And if this person paid it on behalf of a third person, he said, do it on behalf of my father or my mother, my brother, my sister, then even that person is getting the reward. And all of them getting full reward. But if a person is doing Hajj Badal, he should learn the Masail of Hajj Badal, because there is little minor things that he has to keep in mind. If anyone is doing it, then he can ask them make sure that you ask those questions and get it straight on.
So when Muslims' parents are dead, right? When a Muslim brother goes to meet Hajj, the parents keep the reward of Hajj when they're dead?
I mean, he can, but of course, first thing he has to do is own Fard Hajj, and after that he would do it on behalf of them.
The parents are dead, are they getting the reward?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, of course, insha'Allah, they will see one is getting the full reward of it. So the reward is there. Now there is punishment for not fulfilling the fard. If it was fard on them, they were able to do it and they didn't do it. There is punishment for a person who would do that. So we hope that insha'Allah even that punishment will be taken away from the person.
How much sadaqah should be given for minor mistakes?
How much sadaqah should we give for minor mistakes? Sadaqah would be given equivalent to sadaqatul fitr. So if you are from one of the expensive masjid, you pay $10 for each sadaqah. From this neighborhood, you pay $2.50 or $3. But really, the rule is equivalent to sadaqatul fitr for minor mistakes. For major one, of course, then it's dumb. Can it be given to the workers of the haram? The rule is it has to be given to the needy person. You have to determine if that person is needy or not.
What about those miswaks that have flavor? Are they considered?
No, the miswaks that have additional flavors to them. Nowadays, of course, they are making different type of miswaks with different flavors. That will not be allowed during that time because it has a fragrance added to it. Those flavors are really mainly fragrances and additives. But the real smell of the miswak itself and the flavors that is in the miswak itself is fine.
If someone eats something that has fragrance in it, for instance, pot or somebody which has additional fragrance, put it in. What is it?
Dumb. Other people, it's good for the poor people. If a person would eat something that has fragrance to it, I mean, of course, the things that really are used for fragrance. But if there are things used in the food that was cooked and it has some smell to it, it's fine. But things that, the question is about things that really have smell to it. And people are eating it just like some of the tobaccos, they put some fragrance to it. And people chew it, that will be done for sure.
Isn't it like there's like gum that has
As long as it doesn't have a fragrance.
What type of du'as are you supposed to do in your own language or?
What type of dua are you supposed to do in your language or any other language? Of course, dua is the one that comes really from your heart. So other than salah, do dua in your own language. At sometimes make the masnoon du'as also, so that you get the blessings of the words of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But generally in tawaf, sa'i, and in arafah, all of that time, dua on in your own language. Just as you talk to anyone, you insist on begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your own words.
Is doing Tawaf Ziyarah on 10th is a more reward, or is the same 11 or 12?
Is doing tawaf ziyarah on the 10th more rewarding? Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did it on 10th. With that intention will be better. But because of the crowd or anything, a person does it on the 11th or 12th, inshallah will be rewarded the same if there is a reason for delaying it.
The Muslim brothers that are blind, are they allowed to make Hajj?
Blind people are excused from Hajj, so it is not fard on them. Except if the person is wealthy, then responsibility is to send someone on his behalf. Then he has to pay someone to go and do it on his behalf. Okay, two more reminders. One is we forgot to announce about Jum'ah today because we are going to be changing the watches 1 hour behind this Sunday. So Jum'ah will remain the same time. The time of all our prayers is changing. Jum'ah will keep it the same time throughout the year. So 1:15, as we have been studying Jum'ah, it will be the same thing, inshallah. No change in the time of Jum'ah, although the hour, the clocks are going to change. The second thing is, next Jum'ah, I'm out of town, so we will not be having the halaqah. Next Jum'ah, we won't have this halaqah. Inshallah, then we will continue after that. The Jum'ah.
No, Jum'ah will stay.
Yeah.
But regarding the schedules, prayers, salat we have it, the one printed out says, Duhur this, Asr, that will not be affected, our change.
No, that will be affected. If the schedule that you have is, they didn't change the hour in it, like they didn't change the time of the prayers after the hour, then it will change. Because, for example, Maghrib, instead of being 6, will become 5 now. So prayers are going 1 hour behind. But now you have to see for each masjid how much they would change. For example, these days, Isha, we have it at 8 o'clock generally, but we will not go back 1 hour behind. 7, we will make it 7:30. But Maghrib has to stay at sunset, so it will be about 5 something instead of 6 something. اوكي ان شاء الله اقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات واخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.